A corner, a dark, shadowy corner. A strange creature with impossibly long legs is bobbing up and down. What is your first reaction? Probably to roll up a newspaper and swat it. But wait, we may have been wrong about this creature for decades. That deadly spider you are about to kill is actually harmless. And when it appears in your home, it may be dealing with tiny problems hidden in places you cannot even see. This decades-old misunderstanding begins with its name. Have you always called it a daddy longlegs or a long-legged spider? It may have 8 legs like a spider and prefer dark corners, but it is not a spider at all. It does not even belong to the spider order. Even more surprisingly, current genomic evidence suggests that scorpions are more closely related to true spiders than harvestmen are, and the differences between harvestmen and true spiders are easy to spot. First, harvestmen do not have the sophisticated silk-spinning organs that spiders possess. They cannot produce silk or build webs. Second, spiders have a clearly defined narrow waist separating the cephalothorax from the abdomen. Harvestmen have no such waist. Their body sections are broadly joined, giving them the appearance of a tiny bean suspended on 8 legs. So how did an animal that cannot spin a web and is not even a true spider become known as the most venomous spider in the world? You've probably heard this claim. Daddy longlegs are actually the most venomous creatures in the world, but their fangs are too small to pierce human skin. This story has circulated for decades and has become a classic urban legend. But scientifically speaking, the label of deadly venom was pinned on the wrong creature entirely. So where did the confusion come from? In English, the name daddy longlegs has been applied to 3 very different animals: deadly funnel web spiders, venomous predatory cellar spiders, and our main character, the harvestman, which has no venom glands at all. Once those names became mixed together, people could no longer tell which creature the deadly venom story was supposed to describe, and the most innocent one ended up taking the blame. Harvestmen do not have the hollow, venom-injecting fangs found in true spiders. Instead, they have a pair of tiny, pincer-like mouth parts. These mouth parts are not designed for piercing. They work more like 2 miniature forks, gripping and chewing small pieces of food. So the conclusion is simple. Harvestmen pose virtually no threat to humans. They have no venom, and their bite is so weak that it cannot even leave a mark on the thinnest layer of human skin. Calling it an attack would be an exaggeration. But if it cannot spin a web and has no venom, how does this slow-moving, poorly armed creature find enough food at night? Unlike spiders that rely on venom to subdue prey, harvestmen are mild-mannered omnivorous scavengers. Fungal spores, plant fragments, decaying organic matter, tiny insect remains, and even the invisible film of organic residue between tiles can all become food. These scraps may seem insignificant, but they can create favorable conditions for mold, unpleasant odors, and unwanted insects. Without harvestmen, damp corners around bathrooms and drains could accumulate organic debris more quickly and attract other pests. In places you rarely notice, they may be doing a little cleanup for free. However, we often confuse these long-legged creatures with one another. So how can you tell which one is quietly cleaning up the corners and which one is leaving messy webs around your home? When you encounter one of these long-legged creatures indoors, focus on a few obvious clues. A harvestman has a compact, rounded body with no obvious narrow waist, making it look like a tiny bean on stilts. It does not build webs and usually wanders across floors or through damp, sheltered spaces. It does not bite people or leave dusty webs behind, and it may feed on tiny organic scraps along the way. A cellar spider has a clearly divided body with a distinct cephalothorax and abdomen. It is also harmless to humans and is skilled at catching flying insects and small cockroaches, but it builds loose, tangled webs in ceiling corners, which can make a home look untidy. Once you realize that the strange bean on stilts in your home is not venomous and may even be feeding on tiny bits of organic debris, one practical question remains. What should you actually do with it? The simplest rule is to leave it alone or move it gently. If harvestmen suddenly begin appearing frequently in your home, do not immediately reach for insecticide or assume your house is dirty. Their presence may indicate excessive moisture. Check bathroom drains, the area beneath the sink, and nearby pipes for leaks.